We don't kill humans. The dim lights of the void's edge flickered across the scarred metal tables of the Black Hand Guild Hall. Smoke from exotic herbs curled through the air, mixing with the low hum of alien conversations. In the far corner, an old assassin named Varric sat hunched over a glowing data slate, his multiple eyes half closed in thought. A young, hot-headed client stormed in, a scaled reptilian from the outer colonies, his tail lashed angrily as he slammed a credit chip onto the table. "I want a human dead," he hissed. He insulted my broodmate in front of the entire trading station. Humiliated me. Name your price. Varric didn't even look up at first. He simply took a slow sip from his nutrient vial and finally met the client's gaze. No, the word hung in the air like a blade. The client's scales flared. What do you mean, no? You're the Black Hand Guild, the most feared killers in the galaxy. Since when do you refuse contracts? Varric leaned back, his voice low and heavy with years of regret. Since we learned the hardest lesson in this galaxy, we don't kill humans. The young assassin in training, sitting beside Varric, a sharp-eyed newcomer named Krell, leaned forward, ears perked. He had heard whispers, but never the full tale. "Tell him, master," Krell said quietly. "He needs to understand." Varric sighed, his scarred claws tapping the table. "Very well. Listen closely, both of you. This is why the greatest assassin guild in the galaxy became nothing more than scattered freelancers." He began his story. Long ago, the Delphin Empire ruled nearly half the known galaxy. Their war machine was unstoppable. Vast fleets of sleek black cruisers, legions of genetically engineered soldiers, and an economy built on the backs of 100 conquered species. They called themselves the Bringers of Order. Then they set their sights on a small, unremarkable blue planet on the galactic fringe. The locals called it Earth. The Delpan called it dirt. The humans living there were primitive by galactic standards. Their nations were divided, their technology crude, and their world had crushing gravity that made them denser and stronger than most soft-bodied species. Still, the Delpan expected an easy victory. They were wrong. The invasion began with orbital strikes and communication blackouts. Within one galactic standard month, the Delpan legions had crushed organized resistance. Cities fell. Governments surrendered. Humans were rounded up and shipped off-world to work in dangerous mines and factories. Their resilience made them perfect slave labor. The Delpan laughed. "These creatures break so easily," they said. But humans didn't break the way other species did. For the first few years, the slaves seemed obedient. They worked hard. They caused only minor trouble. The Delpan governors grew complacent. What they didn't see was the quiet fire burning beneath the surface. For 20 long Earth years, humans planned in secret. They used the Delpan's own incentives, rewards for large families, to breed and raise a hidden generation of fighters. Underground networks formed. Puppet leaders distracted. The overseers while real resistance councils operated in hidden bunkers and abandoned mines. They reverse engineered stolen Delpan technology in makeshift workshops. They whispered to other enslaved species, planting seeds of rebellion across the empire. And they waited. Then the spark came. It started small. Workers accidentally caused factory explosions. Mines collapsed on Delpan overseers. Riots broke out in labor camps. Humans chanting old songs of freedom and languages the Delpan translators couldn't fully decode. The Empire responded the way it always did. They hired the best assassin guilds, including the mighty Black Hand, to eliminate the ringleaders. That was when the nightmare began. Our agents were the finest killers money could buy. Stealthy, ruthless, trained in every form of death. But against humans, nothing worked as it should. One agent would infiltrate a human settlement on a jungle world only to vanish. Later, we found his body, lured into tall grass and torn apart by local predators. The humans had somehow weaponized. Another team targeted a rebel leader in what humans called friends. They walked into an ambush. Thousands of humans poured into the streets, overwhelming the assassins with sheer numbers and improvised weapons. The agents barely escaped with their lives. In the deserts of a place called Australia, entire squads disappeared. Survivors spoke of invisible traps, venomous creatures, and humans who fought like they had nothing left to lose. We lost 2/3 of our operatives in the first year alone. The ones who survived refused to work without heavy military escorts, and even then, the escorts often became the next targets. The humans didn't just fight back. They adapted. They learned. They turned the Empire's own strengths against it. While the Delpan focused on hunting visible rebels, humans were quietly capturing patrol ships. They studied the technology in hidden shipyards, built inside asteroids, and deep ocean trenches. Soon, thousands of tons of stolen and modified Delpan tech were pouring out of secret factories every single day. Then the coordinated uprisings began. Across dozens of worlds, enslaved species rose at the same time. Communication between rebels happened through methods that Delpan could never trace. Humans had built alliances in the shadows, alliances based on shared suffering and a promise of freedom. The Delpan sent fleet after fleet to crush the revolts. The humans were ready. They used hit-and-run tactics, EMP mines, and devastating ambushes. Captured Delpan ships were turned into weapons against their former owners. Slave species fought with a ferocity no one had seen before, inspired and armed by human strategists. The war escalated into open space conflict. At the Battle of Sol, 10 systems away from humanity's homeworld. The Delpan threw everything they had at the human-led alliance. It should have been a slaughter. Instead, it became the turning point. Human fleets, built from scavenged and innovated technology, tore through Delpan formations. Their pilots flew with a mix of calculated precision and raw, spiteful courage. When the Delpan Emperor realized the danger, he recalled fleets from every front of the galaxy, weakening his borders elsewhere. That was the final mistake. With the Empire's forces stretched thin, the rebellion spread like wildfire. Trillions of beings across hundreds of worlds threw off their chains. The Galactic Council, long neutral, finally sided with the humans after seeing the atrocities committed by the Delpan. 3 brutal years of war followed. Supply lines collapsed. Delpan worlds starved. Their once mighty fleets were bled dry in endless guerrilla campaigns. Finally, an allied armada, led by human and freed species forces, reached Delpan Prime itself. The remaining Delpan fleet, broken and starving, surrendered when they saw the size of the force arrayed against them. The war was over. But the humans didn't slaughter the Delpan leadership the way the Empire would have done. Instead, they did something far more terrifying in its own way. They put them on trial. Human lawyers, creatures who could weaponize words and laws like blades, dragged Delpan generals and governors through courts for years. The emperor himself died of old age while the trials dragged on. His successor was forced into public atonement. The once great Delpan Empire shattered into scattered remnants hiding in the distant galactic arms. Varric fell silent for a moment, staring into his empty vial. Krell and the reptilian client sat stunned. So, that's why? The client whispered. Varric nodded slowly. We broke our contract with the Delpan when we realized what was happening. We refused to send more agents to die. In exchange, the humans let the Black Hand Guild survive, but only as scattered independents. No more centralized power. No more taking contracts on humans. He leaned forward, his voice deadly serious. Listen to me carefully. If you truly want to harm a human, insult him. Punch him. Ruin his business. He might even forgive you one day. Humans are fierce, but they can be surprisingly fair. But if you kill one, his family will come for you. His friends will come for you. His entire species will remember your face. And if you somehow survive all that, their lawyers will hunt you through every court in the galaxy until your dying breath. The only way to kill a human and live to spend the credits is to drop a neutron bomb on him from orbit and then run to the other side of the galaxy and never stop running. Even then, you'll probably still wake up one night with a human standing over your bed.